Into the Wild, a story about leaving everything and finding nothing. You think your problem is the world. Too loud, too fake. You think if you could just step out, leave the noise, burn the map and cut the ties, then something inside you would finally click. Into the Wild is not a story about freedom. It is a story about getting the problem wrong. A man feels disconnected, so he runs. But you cannot run from something that lives inside you. You carry it into the forest, into the silence, into the last place on earth. You carry it. This is not a movie about nature. It is a mirror. And if you look carefully, you will see yourself. Chapter 1. You think the problem is out there. You look at your life, the job, the routines, the conversations that feel empty even when people are talking, and you conclude, this is the problem. Society is broken, people are shallow, everything is artificial. So you dream of leaving, starting over, becoming someone real. But look again, carefully. You felt disconnected before you ever tried to escape. You felt it in the room, in the crowd, in the quiet moments when nothing was happening. That feeling did not come from the world. It came from you. Existentialists saw this clearly, not as theory, as diagnosis. The world does not give you meaning. You are forced to create it. And that responsibility is heavy. So you avoid it. You blame the system. You blame the noise. You blame everything except the one place where the problem actually lives. Inside. Chapter 2. You romanticize escape. You imagine a different life, simpler, cleaner, real. No obligations, no expectations, just you and the world as it should be. You picture silence as peace. You picture isolation as truth. You picture distance as clarity, but you confuse absence with meaning. Nietzsche warned about this. The man who retreats without building strength does not become free. He becomes empty. Into the Wild shows you this illusion in motion. At first, everything feels alive. Every moment is intense. Every step feels meaningful. Because contrast creates intensity, not purpose. You remove comfort, so everything feels sharper. But sharper is not deeper. Intensity is not direction. You do not escape your confusion. You amplify it. Chapter 3. You reject structure, then collapse without it. Structure feels like a cage. Schedules, systems, responsibilities. They feel artificial, imposed. So you reject them. You think freedom means no constraints. But look closer. Every strong man you respect follows structure. Not because he is controlled, because he understands something you do not. Structure is not the opposite of freedom. It is what makes freedom possible. The Stoics knew this. Discipline is not punishment, it is alignment. When you remove all structure, you are not left with freedom. You are left with chaos. And chaos does not build you. It reveals you. Into the wild does not glorify this. It exposes it, a man alone, without systems, without preparation, without boundaries. He is not liberated, he is vulnerable. Chapter 4. You refuse connection, then suffer from its absence. This is the quiet part, the part most people ignore. Throughout the journey, people appear. They offer him something real, care, guidance, even love. And he rejects it every time. Because disconnection is not just absence of people, it is resistance to being seen. You say you want connection, but when it appears, you deflect it. You protect yourself. You stay distant. Why? Because connection demands vulnerability, and vulnerability threatens the identity you built to survive. So you stay alone, and then you suffer from the very thing you chose. You do not lack connection. You lack the ability to receive it. Chapter 5. You chase independence without earning it. You want to rely on no one, to be self-sufficient, strong, untouchable. But independence is not a mindset. It is a capability, built, tested, refined. You do not decide to become independent. You become competent. And competence creates independence. Into the Wild strips this illusion completely. No safety nets, no fallback, just reality, cold and unforgiving. And reality does not care about your intentions, only your preparation. You cannot think your way into strength. You train into it. You fail into it. You suffer into it. Without that, independence becomes exposure, and exposure becomes collapse. Chapter 6. You discover the truth too late. At the end, there is clarity. Not theoretical, not philosophical, but final. Happiness is only real when shared. This is not sentiment, it is structure. You are not designed to exist in isolation, not mentally, not emotionally, not existentially. You can withdraw to understand yourself, but you must return to integrate that understanding. Otherwise, you remain incomplete. This is where many men fail. They go inward, but never come back out. Chapter 7. What this demands from you. This is where the story stops being entertainment and becomes confrontation. You feel disconnected. Now what? You do not escape. You investigate. Where are you avoiding responsibility? Where are you blaming the external for an internal fracture? Where are you rejecting structure because it exposes your lack of discipline? Where are you refusing connection because it requires honesty? You do not need to leave your life. You need to rebuild your relationship to it. So, start here. Build structure, not rigid, intentional. Wake up with purpose, not reaction. Train your body. Because weakness distorts perception. Control your attention, because distraction fragments identity. Then, re-enter connection, not passively but deliberately. Speak honestly, listen fully, stay when it feels easier to withdraw. And finally, stop romanticizing escape. Freedom is not found in distance, it is built in alignment. Final chapter. You do not feel disconnected because the world is broken. You feel disconnected because you are divided between who you are and who you avoid becoming. Into the wild is not a call to leave. It is a warning. If you walk away without understanding yourself, you will meet the same emptiness, but just in a different place. So do not run, do not hide, do not wait. Face it, build yourself, return. And this time, stay.